Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. And yes, my father's family was from Poland. They grew up outside of, sorry about that, outside of Pittsburgh. And then he got outside of Pittsburgh, a very small town, and moved outside Philly, where I came from. I've been at Hopkins since 1998, so it's a long time on faculty. I actually don't recall having a new faculty orientation at that time, but it's an extremely helpful opportunity. I don't expect you to remember anything that I say, but I do want you to think about some key people to reach out to, and to know that if you're thinking about something, you've got a great idea, that's what Hopkins is all about. It's about great ideas and passion to drive them forward. So ask somebody and come learn how you can achieve your great idea. So we participate in a wide variety of clinical research, including data science, translation research, patient-oriented research, clinical trials. Our faculty are sponsored by NIH, PCORI, foundations, and industry sponsors as well, and many of them, all of those funders in one career. We have single-site research as well as multi-center trials. We're working with faculty who are leading trials literally all over the world, right here out of Hopkins. And really one of the common themes is investigator-initiated research. That is, coming up with an idea, working with some of the people I'll talk about to put your idea into motion, gaining funding, and then building a team to orchestrate it. So investigator-initiated research is really the heart of Johns Hopkins. I also want to point out, if you just remember this, that anywhere you're working, you can do clinical research there. So we conduct research. We have inpatient, outpatient CRUs at Johns Hopkins Hospital and Johns Hopkins Bayview Medical Center. We also have a group called CAPRIS. CAPRIS stands for Capital Region Research. Johns Hopkins Howard County is part of that. For those of you who know the area, it's not really in the National Capital Region, but it's part of CAPRIS. We also have teams down at Sibley and Suburban, which are the NCR. If you are working there or want to collaborate with people there, reach out and we can get you in touch with the CAPRIS team who can facilitate your work. We also work very closely with the team at Johns Hopkins All Children's, as well as in our ambulatory locations. I'll mention it briefly here. There is the Johns Hopkins Clinical Research Network. They work with hospital systems in Pennsylvania, as well as Maryland and the Eastern Shore of Maryland. I've made this comment before, but our ecosystem is complicated. We're here to help. The key is to ask questions. You may actually get bad advice from colleagues because they may have been here for a long time, and they may not have realized that we've changed, that we are improving our ability to help Hopkins navigate. So always ask and feel free to reach out. So who should you ask? Well, these are the people that you need to know. Gail Dahman is the Vice Dean for Clinical Investigation. Dan Ford is the Senior Associate Dean. He runs the ICTR. This is our CTSA-funded network. Megan Singleton runs the IRB in our Human Research Participant Protection Program. Now, that often is something you think of as a hurdle you have to overcome. But I can assure you that if you have a complicated project, something you may think is a bit nuanced, that we are here to help, and Megan can help give advice on how to get through that. Tom Burns runs ORA, and I run the Office of Clinical Trials. I want to point out that everyone is smiling in this picture. And this is, well, okay, so they were done as headshots, like professional, like they're doing next door. But the reality of it is, we are here to help. So a couple of key slides on resources. The ICTR has clinical research units. They have research coordinators that you can hire to help with your projects. They can help you design your research and give you advice. Now, I put in brackets Bead Corps, not realizing you're going to hear about that later from Jackie Jennings. It's just so important. I wanted to make sure that someone told you about Bead Corps. They have a trial innovations unit that can help you design multi-center trials, and design studios to help you think about perhaps aims for a K or an R. They can help with databases like REDCap. Oh, and if you're going to store biospecimens, use Open Specimen. That's the preferred enterprise solution. And they can help you recruit. The Recruitment Innovation Unit can help you use MyChart, social media, and access the community. Office of Clinical Trials, what do we do? Clinical research contracting, clinical research support, budgeting, billing compliance. We We have an IND ID regulatory program. Eva Zimmerman can help if you want to file your own IND or IDE. You have to go through this office and we can help. We also oversee the implementation of Encore Clinical Trials Management System, which is launching this week on October 5th in the Cancer Center. Initially, we're going to move from an older system to the Encore CTMS. Informatics resources. So data science is a big deal at Johns Hopkins. We have the Core for Clinical Research Data Acquisition, known as the CCDA. I actually had to write it out because I always forget what it stands for. It's CCDA. So let's say you want to do a project that involves data in the EMR. Well, a couple of real key resources, but the most important is CCDA. They can help you in an appropriate manner get your protocol approved by the IRB and bring that data into a format you can use. Similarly, the Precision Medicine Center of Excellence exists in a number of areas. There's a really good one for COVID, which has followed people prospectively since the start of the pandemic. And that's our existing resources that in my mind is underutilized. There is the Data Trust Research Data Subcouncil. I'm not sure why data appears twice, but this group actually really can help you navigate some of the nitty-gritty things about how to protect your data and how to comply with rules at Johns Hopkins around data. And finally, if you want to put in something into Epic that can help your research project, say it's a survey, a questionnaire, work with the PACE program. So take-home messages, that's a lot of different resources. Anything you want to do, ask. We can probably help you formulate this in a way that saves you time, prevents false steps that only have to backtrack and correct. So ask questions early and often, and the key theme is we're here to help. Our goal is to make clinical research easier for you, the faculty of Johns Hopkins. So I'll stop there.